Batman v Superman is just around the corner, so it makes sense to talk about a movie that marked the beginning of the DC Extended Universe, because the movie tried to do that years ago and it didn't do good at all on that. Okay, so Batman v Man of Steel. I'm so close. So Man of Steel follows the story of the last son of Krypton, Kal-el, and after the destruction of his planet and being one of the only survivors left, he is sent to Earth where he can walk among the humans in hopes of living a normal life. From there, he learns human motives, and then him believing he is actually human till throughout his childhood, he learns that he has certain abilities, and those abilities in being Superman, and him learning what it can mean to the world if everybody knew who and what he really is. But meanwhile, after an evil warlord arrives on Earth searching for Kal-el, or Clark Kent, he must use his abilities to save the world and eventually become Superman. Now, Man of Steel is an extremely controversial film in regards to almost every aspect of filmmaking, and it's one of those pieces that really split up the fans. There's a lot of people that loved it, there's some people that hate it, and some think it's okay, and so on. I've never seen a film that has been argued to this degree than Man of Steel. But since this is my review and it is an opinion, and before you guys hit that dislike button, I just want to make something very clear on where I stand with this film. Now, I really believe that Man of Steel is one of the most underrated superhero films ever made, because deep down, I really find it to be a masterpiece. Again, before you leave, I just want to explain my bit on why I think that, because I believe a lot of people kind of overlook the certain themes of this movie. Man of Steel can relate to almost everybody in a way, because despite an alien coming down to Earth that has Superman powers, which is like the unrealistic aspect to it, but what it's really about is what it takes to be a Superman and what choices, good or bad, you have to make in order to not only make a difference to the world, but within yourself. There was subtext and imagery like that throughout the film that I found to be extremely beautiful, that showcased the sort of challenge that Clark Kent or Kal-el had to have within himself. A huge factor in that had to be his two dads in the film, Jonathan Kent played by Kevin Costner and Jor-El played by Russell Crowe, which both do an excellent job, by the way. Jonathan Kent brought up the fact that yes, you have the choice in what to do with your abilities, because good or bad, no matter what, Superman will change the world. Whereas Jor-El, Superman's biological father, tells him it's his destiny to save the entire human race, since he is the bridge between the two worlds. Each father figure gives very important messages to Superman that everybody can relate to, and the quality of the themes make this godlike figure very relatable in a human way. Even though Superman has these incredible abilities, but deep down, he's just a regular man with regular thoughts, regular emotions, and the choice he has to make within himself to potentially become somebody greater. The director, Zack Snyder, because him known for being this visual director, he does his best work to bring these subtle messages that Superman is like a Jesus figure. Because Jesus Christ, being the son of the one and only all-powerful God, but deep down, he is just a man with all these incredible abilities, just like how it's told in the Bible. And I think it's really interesting how Superman says he's 33 in the film, which is the same age as Jesus when the whole world began to know who he really was. The cinematography not only shows that this is one of the most beautiful looking superhero movies ever made, but it's provided with those hints that this is an all-powerful God. But putting the audience in Superman's shoes to feel the weight on his shoulders, for even as somebody as powerful as the Man of Steel, even he can struggle or can't hold up these responsibilities. To show that every single living thing on this planet has struggles, the filmmakers to the core really humanize Superman. Where you have those themes where the rest of the movie obviously has plot, the action scenes, acting, the musical score, all those traits that make the quality of a film, everybody has to have an issue with at least some of them. And even if you did, I wouldn't really blame you if you had problems with the film, I mean, being opinion and all. But one of the biggest complaints in Man of Steel is that there's too much action in the last half, and it makes me go like, okay. Now, I get where those people are coming from, like, I really do, but imagine if you were Superman and you really started to figure out on what you could really do. Yet he faces the challenge where not only is he outnumbered by all these Kryptonians, but the entire world is threatened as well, but you are the only hope for this planet's safety. Of course, not everything will go the way you would have hoped to. People will die and the things will get messy. And the incredible display of power between Superman, General Zod, and the fellow Kryptonians is once again one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen in a superhero movie. Nothing like that has been done till the Man of Steel. Whenever they would punch each other, sound barriers are being broken, they're flying through buildings, everything is incredibly fast. You have never seen that in a Superman movie. Some people compare it to the action to if Dragon Ball Z had a good live action adaptation, it would be Man of Steel. and I absolutely agree. And that's not a bad thing either. I will take that as a huge compliment in the quality of the action. The score composed by Hans Zimmer is masterfully done to display every emotion that is to be felt in every moment in Man of Steel. I absolutely love the score. Whenever there would be an emotional moment within Superman, he knew how to capture that. Whenever Superman was learning to become Superman, Hans Zimmer knew how to capture that moment. And it's without a doubt one of the best scores to a superhero film ever. Next to Hans Zimmer's score to The Dark Knight, I mean, it's up to par with that. But as far as the emotion goes, Hans Zimmer really put every bit of talent he has within the score, making it a film score that I still listen to this day. The Dark Knight stuck to one particular tone, whereas Man of Steel was explored in every direction, and I have to give huge praise to that. Which convinces me more on why I think it's a masterpiece, because Hans Zimmer knew the underlying themes within Man of Steel is more than special. Since it takes a brilliant film score to help tell its story, but it takes an even more talent to explore every bit of emotion. Not to mention, Henry Cavill as Superman is one of the most perfect casting choices for the role that I believe he may be even better than Christopher Reeves. And he was like the definitive Superman back in the late 70s and 80s, but Cavill took that role to the next level. Henry Cavill showcased a godlike figure who indeed has these powers, but he is just a man who isn't by all means picture perfect, and which I believe makes his character much more inspiring. He created some scenes beautifully to show that Superman was the bridge between his two worlds while still having the qualities of a regular man, which is absolutely crazy. But through the cinematography and the subtle imagery and the symbolism shows that Henry Cavill is perfect for the role of Superman. There cannot be anybody to replace him right now. As far as his acting is concerned, I thought he was absolutely great. I mean, some people found his performance to be somewhat wooden, but I believe that Henry Cavill captured the emotion of Superman just like how Hans Zimmer captured the emotion through the score. As far as the problems are concerned with me, since there's no such thing as a perfect film, I believe that some of the CGI was a bit clunky and doesn't really hold up to date, such as that tentacle monster that Superman has to fight towards the end. I didn't really care for that at all, and some of the fight scenes didn't look all that great, but that doesn't stop me from thinking that Man of Steel is one of the most beautifully done superhero movies ever made. I swear to God. It taught what it meant to be a Superman, as these are themes that not too many people really look into, in my opinion. Which I can say, in all those aspects that I have mentioned before, Man of Steel is absolutely legendary. I pray that Batman v Superman is just as good as Man of Steel, because Rotten Tomatoes is not liking it so far. Alright guys, I want to know what your thoughts are about Man of Steel. Since this is an extremely controversial film, I want to know what you took away from it. Whatever your thoughts are, leave it down below. And as always, you can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and all that social media shit down below. Keep in contact with me. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And as always, may the Force be with you. And the Force be with Batman v Superman. God, I hope it's good.